Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our last Ninja Skill Booster of 2023. It's hard to believe I'm already saying that it's coming towards the end of the year. This year has been such a fast-paced year, I know, for so many of us. And particularly, we've run this little webinar now for the last couple of Christmases to help us really focus in on the right things, to cut the overwhelm and really get some benefit from taking a breath. So these 30 minutes is going to be, I guess I'm going to try and bring the calmness down, bring us some level here so that we can really focus in on what's important and set ourselves up so that we can take a really restful break over Christmas and come back not with a sense of overwhelm. So I'm going to try and keep it calm. It is only 30 minutes though, so that's why I feel like I have this, like I need to share so much stuff with you, but I also want to keep the pace very calm for you. So let's get into it and we will have some fun together. So for those that don't know me, my name is Julie. I work as a productivity ninja here at Think Productive. Please feel free, grab a screenshot if you'd like to grab the contact details. Keep in touch with us. We love to chat about this stuff. We are the nerds when it comes to Productivity Ninja and sharing tips and tools with you that can really help to make your days easier. If you'd like to keep in touch with us on our socials, we post little tips and tools every couple of days. So not overwhelmingly too much, but just enough that it might just give you some little prompts. So do feel free to join us there. As an organization, globally, we are really passionate about helping everyone to love Mondays. And we would love to help you. If you need us, please get in touch. We are here to help support you and your teams. Today's session, though, as I mentioned, we've run this session a couple of times. I should firstly just say, I apologize. I'm going to just skip back one. I come to you today from dark in Youngland on the Central Coast here in New South Wales. I love to support, obviously, all of the peoples around the world, around the country. And I want to pay my respects to elders past, present, and emerging who take care of this land for us. So yes, please, if you'd like to pop in the chat box, let me know where you're coming from today. I know Marie mentioned she's up in the Blue Mountains. So yes, I would love to hear where you are from. Okay, 3 things we're going to cover today. We're going to talk about some of our key ninjas that help us to maintain that calmness and ease as we head towards Christmas. So we're going to focus in on 3 ninjas today. We are going to prepare and plan a little bit for January 24 to help us be able to switch off and just go, yeah, I'm ready. And that preparing for the restful break is also a key part of this little session today. So let's get into it. Thank you so much for sharing where you come from all over the country. Adelaide, Shepparton, Sydney, fantastic, wonderful. And Newcastle, I'm heading to Newcastle after this workshop. Wonderful. Our 3 ninjas that we're going to focus on today that I want to mention, we are going to look at Zen Like Calm Ninja. This is one of our key ninjas to help us maintain balance and calm during our days. I'm also going to talk about mindfulness ninja. Again, another important ninja to help us stay focused on the here and now, what's important to get done, and ensure that we are maintaining some self-care as we go through. And our 3rd ninja will be preparedness ninja. And this is the main one that we're going to spend most of our time on today, helping us really get focused on preparing for what's coming. So no more ado, let's get into it. I know that at this time of the year, we can really panic a little bit. We can get a little bit overwhelmed and think about, how am I going to get everything done? How am I going to make sure that I can get to Christmas without feeling completely burnt out and just fall in a heap? So we really need to focus in on a couple of things. Firstly, I want to encourage you to stop. We do this in all of our workshops, this idea of just stopping and breathing. Take a moment, just pause, so that we can start to center ourselves. I'm going to talk a little bit about this idea of the amygdala. We mention it in quite a few of our Ninja Skill Boosters, the little lizard brain that it does this thing called amygdala hijack. It actually takes over from our thinking brain, our prefrontal cortex, and it takes us off track. It gets us completely overwhelmed and just focused on the doing. And I want to encourage you to stop and breathe. Some deep breathing. I'm going to do some more of that in a minute, but the deep breathing will help to stop the amygdala in its tracks and will re-engage your prefrontal cortex, will help us to be able to start thinking again. And one of our key principles here at Productivity Ninja is doing boss thinking. This idea of doing the planning, the organizing, the structuring what we need to do so that we can then plan to do those things with ease. So this is a key principle. The boss-like thinking, the boss thinking that we talk about in all of our workshops is really fundamental. And when we get to this place and we get to this frazzle of just, there's so much going on, I've got so much to do before Christmas, we need to stop and breathe. And one of the things we again talk about quite often, but I'm going to really make sure that you think about doing this right now, I'm going to give you some time to practice it, is we want you to do a brain dump. And this is about clearing our head, getting everything out onto paper so that we again can start to see what's there and organize and plan it. Now, today's session is going to be a little bit different. I'm going to get you to do a brain dump in 2 parts. Now, I'm just going to upload the cheat sheet for those that haven't seen that already. I'm going to put it at the top of the list in the chat box. Please feel free to download this now, but you don't need it right this second, okay? If you just have pen and paper, you can start to do this just on pen and paper. Draw yourself 2 thought bubbles, and I would love for you to do a short brain dump right now. So that's just popped into the chat box for you, so you can download that cheat sheet for now or later. But I'd love for you to do a brain dump in 2 parts. So just at the top of the sheet, there's space for what's in my head around work, what's in my head around personal or home stuff. And it doesn't have to be Christmas related. It just needs to be anything that's in your head, anything you're holding on to. So I'm going to give you 3 minutes right now to do the brain dump. I'm going to do it with you. So I will pause the recording while we do this, and I'll grab a pen as well. But just think about what is in my head right now. So 3 minutes, ready, set, go. I'll set a timer. Excuse me, I just dropped my phone. So yes, that's the end of our 3 minutes. I hope you found that interesting, useful to get all of that clutter out of your head. Jen, thank you. Jennifer, that was useful. Great. I'd love to encourage you to do this right up till Christmas. Dump it down, get it out of your head. When we start to get overwhelmed, when things start to get crazy, get it all out, put it on paper, or maybe into, if you've already got what we call a second brain, if you've got somewhere to store this stuff, maybe into a to-do app or something like that, get it all out. So Kylie's saying, scary with how much was in there. Yes. Sometimes it's just like, yeah. And I can see a few more comments coming through there. So yes, made you feel tired. Yes, I hope, Michelle, we can help through this in the next sort of 20 minutes or so. We'll get some clarity around this stuff. Yes, Glenn, doing it daily can be really useful. First thing in the morning can be valuable so that we can start to then choose the right things, figure out where should I start? What are the things that have to be done before Christmas? What are the things that can wait? What can I do? How can I organize this stuff? Karen, 65 things on your list. Yes. Isn't it amazing how much is there? Yes. And now, yeah, the planning for January we're going to get to is going to be good too. Yeah. Very good, Sue, and scary as well. Yes. Yes, Vivian, that happens often. Anyone else find that their mind went blank, finally got going? But it's sometimes that overwhelm can just send us into just completely stagnation mode. We just stop and we procrastinate. So this can be a really helpful way to just let our brain reset and move forward. Yeah, breathing, again, remember the breathing. Okay, Anne, thank you. Wrote all the time, but feel better already. Fantastic. That is wonderful. Great. Okay, so once we've got all this stuff, we do need to organize it and figure out what to do with it next. This is my go-to tip. So this one is the next thing I would recommend once you've done this brain dump, is think about, are there some natural groupings, some natural organization that comes through from all of those things that you can start to cluster together and use to help you get clarity? But the daily boot up, this little process, this checklist that we share quite often again in these sessions. If you need one of these, please get in touch after the session. I don't have the link ready for you right now. I might pop that in right at the end. I'll go and find that for you. But get in touch with us and we can send you a copy of the daily checklist. It is also on your cheat sheet in a small form, just here, so you can use that off of the cheat sheet too. This is 5 or 10 minutes of consolidated boss thinking first thing in the morning. Please do this every single day. This is my go-to every single morning. I write my top 5. This gets me going. And from that brain dump, you can pick your 5 priorities, the things that need to get done before Christmas, and plan when you're going to go dark to get those things done. So use the checklist, get it to help you to start to get some clarity and prioritize as you go through the day. Okay. Also remember here that use this to pick the 20% of the things that are going to make a big difference. Do you remember the 80-20 principle, the Pareto principle we often talk about? Again, 20% of the things we do give us 80% of our results. So we want to be choosing the things that matter, not all the little rats and mice. Okay. Now, I also wanted to, I'm going to be very cautious of time because I will run out of time, but I also want to encourage you to think about turning on your out of office now, okay, for January. So if you know that you're taking a break, you're taking 2 weeks off, a week off, whatever it is you're doing, plan to do this. This is just a little trigger for your brain, okay? Go into your Outlook. I know most of you are on Outlook. If you're on other systems, you can still do the same thing in Gmail, etc. But you can prepare your out of office now. And it's a really important one to go, okay, I'm stopping on this day and I'm going to take a breather. So setting up your out of office, and remember, once you set it up, Outlook, Google, they will actually start this. If you put a start date and an end date in there, they will get that ready for you. It's like having little magic fairies there for you that will make that happen. If you do it now, you're not going to forget it on the last day, and you're not going to run up to the last day going, oh, still so much to do. How many times have you left the office and then gone, oh, I've got to go back into my emails and do that? So do it now. I'm going to give you a couple of minutes in a minute to think about planning for January. This is where we're heading now. So in the second part of the cheat sheet down the bottom here, there's room to do some notes if you have one of these printed, or just write this on paper. Is thinking about, how does my diary look for January? How does it look right now? Okay. I'm going to get you 3 minutes in a minute to have a look at this and think about, in 3 minutes, you'll be amazed at how much you can do. How's January going to be for me? Is there space in January for me to block out some time so that when I get back, I can do some really deep boss thinking? I can set up for my year. I can maybe do a weekly plan. I can make sure that I've planned all of January so that I've got space for some boss thinking throughout each of the weeks when I return. I find this just really helps us to, again, be able to switch off and have a restful break if we make space for this now. So I'm going to give you 3 minutes again to plan your return to work now, okay? Making space for things like, you know what, my inbox is going to be maybe crazy, maybe not. Most people are going to take a break. But if I know I need to spend some time getting back to zero in my inbox to process all of those emails, I'm going to set aside a chunk of time in January right now, okay? So I'm going to give you 3 minutes to think about, what space do I want to create in my January so that I have room to be organized and planned and breathe easily when I get back. Okay, 3 minutes. I am going to pause the recording again, but feel free to jump in and ask any questions if you need to in the chat box. Okay, 3 minutes, go. Just a few more seconds on that activity, planning for January. I'd love to know in the chat box again how that was for you. Have you been able to put your out of office on? Have you been able to plan ahead for some time in January when you return? I'd love to know. Out of office done, Matt? Yes, awesome. Well done. Fantastic. Wonderful. Okay, I am conscious that we will run out of time today if I go too slowly. So I'm going to crack on a little bit. I hope that was useful. The next thing I want to just get you to think about is thinking about as we head closer and closer to the time that we're going to take a break, if we're taking that break over Christmas, is that if we're rushing to finish those last minute things, there's one little trick that's going to really help you. Yeah. And that's about breathing. Oh, it's not going to work for me. Let me just get this little video going. I want to come back to the breath, thinking about how important it is to breathe. When we are racing, when we're busy, when we're really, doing the doing, when we're getting a little bit overwhelmed, when there's just so many last things that we just have to finish, again, that little amygdala, that little reptile brain it's a naughty little thing. It just takes over and it stops us thinking clearly. When we breathe really deeply, when we take the diaphragmatic breaths, we reactivate what's called our parasympathetic nervous system. And it really helps to, again, calm the amygdala, calm it down, and start to re-engage our prefrontal cortex. So I'd love for you to think about, please, please, please do some breathing. If it's your go-to little trick, this is going to help you focus. It's going to help you pick the right things. And make sure that as you complete those things, you do them easily, rather than just frantically and trying to multitask with many things. So yes, I hope that's useful for you. Our last little tip in this one, I think this is the last one, is how to maintain some mindfulness. I want you to really think about taking this time. Do we have 3 minutes? Oh, yes, I think I do. I think I can give you 3 minutes to do this because this is really important. I want you to think about, what does a restful break look like for you? It's going to look different for everybody. If you want to put some thoughts in the chat box, I'd love to see this too. But again, make some notes for yourself. What does this mean for you? I know for me, I just wrote down some notes about making sure. Oh, Alexander's saying sleep. Yes, I understand. Sleep is really important. And things like, yes, time with your grandbaby, Sue. Wonderful. I have that too. I have with my little grandson who's about to turn 2 this weekend. Yes, exercise is really important as well. Yet think about, what does this mean to me? So I'm going to just give you 3 minutes to think about this. I know for me, it means going underwater, spending some time relaxing at the beach, spending some time diving. Yes, 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 yes. Who was that said diving? Hannah. Yes, you'll be scuba diving too, Hannah. We can go together. Fantastic. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. And Belinda, yeah, it's a chance to slow down and be more present. Beach walks, hikes, sleep, big cleanup ready for the new year. Fantastic. Good balance of time between family and friends, as well as chill out time. Some of the prompts, it's worth reading what's in the chat box, because some of these things you might not even think about because we get so crazy as we come up to this year. But what gives you joy? What helps you to feel centered and rested and refreshed? So I'm going to give you another couple of minutes. I was going to give you 3 for this, but I'll just, as we've had a bit of a chat, I'll set the timer for 2 minutes. So please, please, please feel free to just take 2 minutes now to think about what restful means for you. I'm going to pause the recording again. Okay. I am going to just stop the recording now. Oh, sorry, start the recording now, stop that activity now. But I would love to know still in the chat box, what is it you're going to do? How are you going to feel when you get to the end of your holiday? How's it going to be? Is it going to be amazing? I'm hoping that you're going to have time for rest, that it's going to be a fabulous time for you. Oh, I haven't been to the beach for ages, Sharon. Yeah, taking your grandson fishing. Fantastic. Wonderful. That is brilliant. I can see some wonderful things that you're going to do in your break. That's just absolutely fabulous. Not thinking about what I'm going to do when I get back from my break. Yes, absolutely, Amanda. That is the goal. We know that this is not an either or. It's not about not being productive during the holidays. When we rest, when we truly take care of ourselves and reset, we come back with renewed energy, renewed focus, and our productivity goes up. So this is such an important part of that reset that we want to have during that break. Fabulous. Thank you so much. I hope that was really useful and that you've got some thoughts about what you are going to make happen as you move into your break. Okay, I also, just as a quick one, have a look in the chat box. It's a few messages, but I've uploaded the daily checklist for you so that you can download that if you'd like a copy. Now, Wendy's raised a hand. Wendy, would you mind just putting a quick question into the chat box for me so I can see your question? I do want to wrap up the session because I'm conscious that we have 3 minutes left to get everybody out of here. I hope that you found that really useful. We covered those key ninjas. So the Zen Like Calm, the really deep boss thinking. We covered the mindfulness ninja, really staying with our breath, staying in mindfulness as we move into these busy times, and also preparing for that restful break. I hope that was useful for you. I want to remind you that we also have our next Ninja Kickstarter our next Ninja Skill Booster will be in January. Sorry, my words are not coming out well today, which will be all about our New Year Kickstart and helping you again start the new year well. That's on the 17th of January. I will send you an email after this session. I'm not going to post the links now because that will be confusing for you, but please jump on that Ninja Skill Booster on the 17th. That would be great. And I also wanted to mention that we have in January and into early February some other Ninja Kickstarters that are really useful to think about. If you would like to come and do a workshop with us, if you haven't already done the Way of the Productivity Ninja, that is a fantastic workshop, which is on the 23rd of January. You can see all of these in the website. We'll send you all the links. And our 6 weeks to Ninja program starts on the 8th of February, if you'd like to join. I've got one more quick surprise for you before you go. I would love to do a quick Christmas gift giveaway. We have a free spot on our next 6 weeks to Ninja program, which is the one that starts in February. If you email us today, that would be fabulous, at that should say hello@thinkproductive.com.au, not the Canadian address, so please do the .com.au, and just say I want to be a ninja, and one lucky person will receive our 6 weeks to Ninja program for free. So I hope that is of interest to you. Please just email us. We would love to see that. Have a wonderful Christmas and a peaceful New Year. I hope your break is fantastic. Please keep in touch. We would love to hear how you're doing. And yes, thank you for all the messages in the chat room. Please have a wonderful break. Thank you so much. I hope that was useful. I will stop the recording, and if anyone has any questions, please feel free to jump in